We're just gonna sit here in awkward silence. Are you?
Welcome to the Garlic Boys podcast, where we treat friendship like a good recipe treats garlic. We're your hosts. I'm Connor O'Connor. Nope, sorry, hold on. Welcome to the Garlic Boys podcast, where we treat friendship like a good recipe treats garlic. You can never have too much of it. We're your hosts. I'm Connor O'Connor.
And I'm Riley. Definitely not a mermaid. Definitely not.
Oh no!
Oh
The
no!
water. I've never seen that show.
Meg, what?
I've never seen.
I thought we would have some solidarity on the fact that Riley is the best character.
Well, you know who you could talk to about that is Thomas, because over 1 year in college, he watched every single episode of like the H2O franchise.
H2O, Friendship is Magic, and then there's Mako Mermaids, which is another series. Just
like he watched all of it, and I was like, "Why are you watching this?" And he goes, "I don't know."
Cleo!
Cleo!
Emma!
Oh no, the condensation. So wait, if we're gonna go, if those of you don't know what we're talking about, it was a show called H2O, which I believe is like a teenage soap opera from Australia.
H2O, Friendship is Magic. You got to do the whole thing.
I didn't know that was that. Isn't that My Little Pony's tagline as well?
Is it? Maybe I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I think it's like H2O Water Warriors or
just
something.
add water. Friendship is Magic is the. I'm an idiot. You know what? You can just hang me, kill me, do what you want with me, as long as it's a punishment.
I'm just gonna go over, like, not even comment on that. But so it's this Australian teenage soap opera where you just add water to these Australian teens and they turn into mermaids. Which, how do you go through life not being able to touch water?
Well, okay, so they use their powers. It's not like it. I mean, it's kind of like a werewolf curse. Like it's a little bit different than a werewolf curse because they can have all their faculties and memories and all that jazz. Whereas a werewolf traditionally goes berserk. But regardless, it's actually very difficult. The show goes through all of the different scenarios in which they get wet when they don't intend to. So they take baths and stuff like that, but like just they have to lock the door. Nobody can come in. Their tails are just, hanging out.
So they can't shower. They have to bathe. They have to bathe.
Right, because they can't stand if they get wet. So they'll just fall over in the shower.
But they live in Australia. What happens if it gets too hot one day and they start sweating?
I don't think sweat counts because it's coming from their own body, maybe. The show, I don't believe, ever went into that.
Okay.
Because it would just, like, I sweat constantly. I have that
I'm never not sweaty.
Whatever. Yeah. So I would constantly be, like, there would not be a moment in which I wouldn't be a mermaid.
Right. And so, like, what if it is a hot day out and it's like, oh no, I have to beat the heat. Let me grab a sip of water.
Sip of water.
If it goes in my mouth, is it fine? But like if it touches my chin, I'm done for.
Yeah, drinking water is okay, but if it falls down and touches any part of your body, yes, it is.
That's rough because I can't eat or drink without getting something on me.
At one point, this one girl wants to be cool and she goes to a party. Sorry, this is irrelevant to the drinking. Agreed. I drip all the time. Just like gets in my beard constantly.
Oh, all the time.
There's this one point in the show where the Cleo wants to be cool, so she goes to a party. But these jerkwads throw her into the pool. She's literally wearing, like, I'm not even kidding, like a hat, a scarf, long sleeves, pants. So there's no possibility that she can get wet. She's wearing layers in Australia. so many layers. She goes to a pool party and they throw her into the pool. And I think one of her friends, I think Riley and Emma, I think has to figure out how to like distract the party goers so they don't see that she's a full on mermaid.
Yeah, because like at a pool party, if there's not people in the pool, everyone's gathered around the pool.
Right.
And now, so you said Riley, Cleo, and what was the third one? Emma. Emma. Are they like at a boarding school, and so like they're like from the mermaid village underwater, and like they're just at a boarding school in the mainland?
So in the first episode, they swim into this essentially like a volcano, like a moon pool.
Okay.
They swim into this. The full moon comes over, fits perfectly over this opening at the top of the volcano rock formation and gives them their powers.
So they get turned into mermaids.
They get turned into mermaids. They're like, what the heck is going on? I'm a mermaid. I can't control my powers. It's just that the whole show is a bunch of teenagers not able to get wet. And if they do, they turn into a mermaid. And then why you wouldn't want to show off this really cool freaking power?
Dude.
Like, why do you want to hide it?
I was literally thinking the same thing. I for sure would get captured by the government and have tests ran on me because I would go full turning red.
I'd be
you know how she just shows off to everyone and like charges people money. Like I was like, dude, I have these powers. Like because with being a mermaid, I can't really be a hero. Like that's not like superhero powers, but that's like hey, you want to see something sick?
Yeah.
Like $10, I'll show you something sick that you're not going to see anywhere else. Like you sell that. I mean,
it's absolutely wild. I think in the Mako Mermaid series, there's hundreds of mermaids, if I remember correctly. Like there's not just the 3 main character mermaids. There's the 3 main character mermaids, and then there's more mermaids. So just like everybody's a mermaid at that point. Everybody found the moon pool, and everybody's a mermaid.
Cleo, we're not the only ones anymore. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! They're gonna find the magic moon pool.
Not the moon pool. I think it's weird the amount of teenage because like I don't know if there's many American teenage soap operas like that because like the two big ones are Degrassi, which is Canadian. But then there's H2O. Like those are like the only like soap operas type shows that I know of.
What constitutes a soap opera? I don't understand.
I think like high drama, unrealistic events happening within it, and so like the drama aspect of Degrassi was always heightened from like how like a normal high school would go, but it wasn't heightened comedically. It was heightened dramatically, and so like Glee is a very heightened high school experience, but that's more performance comedic.
Right.
And so like Mako Mermaids, we're making fun of it. It's hilarious to watch now, but like I think it was supposed to be a dramatic show with like slight comedy undertones. You know what I just remembered? Did you ever watch House of Anubis?
No, but that sounds awesome.
It was a Nickelodeon show and it was British. It was called House of Anubis, and there was like secrets from the Egyptian past in this house, and like there was clues and mysteries that they had to try and solve and things like that. But like again, British.
Yeah, America's just dumb. They don't delve into the soap opera-esque world.
But it's clearly something that like would get a lot of buzz because all 3 of those shows played on Teen Nick. And so, like, they could get a solid fan base for it.
Right.
Why are they being dumb? Like,
because it's America. Come on. We've had discussions about this.
That's fair. I just, like, you'd think with how, like, right now, how production companies are being and, like, how greedy they are, you'd think they'd do something that was, like, clever. But they just fully for years did not do that,
Right. No. Yeah, absolutely. I get that. I have seen I've seen production companies, CEOs, corporations do many things that the viewer necessarily doesn't want, but that they think the viewer wants.
Right.
Like Sonic. Sonic was a great example of that, where they were like, all right, let's take this classic character that's been around for decades and turn him into some grotesque, weird looking creature.
I'm so glad they changed that.
Me too. It's very clever of them, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of clever,
You're like really into the awkward pauses today. I love it.
I want to do as many awkward pauses as possible.
I love it.
Because
I'm sure the listeners will love it too.
Oh, I don't care if the listeners love it. It's not something you enjoy.
So what you're telling me is you don't care about the listeners at all. I see how it is.
I care about the listeners. I care about the
Connor doesn't care about you.
Shut up, Matt. I care about the listeners, but if I can cause you any sort of discomfort, I choose to do that.
Right. So you're exploiting my my brain dysfunction. I really appreciate that, Connor. I really do.
Do better. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Welcome to this week's episode of the Clever Boy Quiz.
Yay. Woo.
I was putting in the claps there. Just hold on.
Oh, good. Yeah.
As you all remember, last week was Matt's reward quiz where he got to frustrate me and look, I wasn't acting. He literally annoyed me to the point where I wanted to throw hands. I'm not proud of it. But he
Mission
succeeded.
accomplished.
He succeeded. And the week before that was in the Clever Boy Quiz with the guys from Small Beards Big Opinions. So we haven't done a true Clever Boy Quiz in a few weeks here. Matt, do you remember what the last quiz was on?
Oh boy, do I.
It was your birthday quiz. Do you remember what it was on?
It's my birthday quiz. Birthday. No, I don't.
It was Spider-Man.
But I won.
Matt. Yeah.
Oh, it was Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah, I do remember now. You unclogged the gears in my head that were trying to move.
Shook up the old coconut, put a lime in it. Well, Matt, this week's quiz is called I've Got a Bad Feeling About This.
Is it a Star Wars themed quiz?
It's a Star Wars themed quiz.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've been on a big Star Wars kick, and you didn't know that, but you do now.
I didn't. This is fully just because I just remembered the first question, like the trivia fact of it, and so I wanted to ask you about it. But just a fun fact for the listeners, if you don't know this, I've got a bad feeling about this. In some sort of variation is spoken in every Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it's great, and in some of the shows and video games and everything.
Exactly, it's a visual or a verbal Easter egg, for the listeners. Much like Matt saying he hates me. So let's get this started. Question number 1: What was the real world reason, like in our world, that caused Luke's new lightsaber in Return of the Jedi to be green instead of blue?
What? I didn't know there was a real world reason. I thought he just got a cool new saber. That's what Jedis do whenever they. The real world reason was the green screens. Now that wouldn't make sense because it was green instead of blue because it was originally blue. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was because Anakin's is blue, and he had Anakin's first. He got a green one in the second movie. Maybe that's the real world reason though. Like in the first movie, they didn't have the technology, so they had to use a blue lightsaber, not knowing all the lore and all that jazz. But in the second movie, they were able to isolate it and have a cool green lightsaber. So that's going to be my answer.
That they were able to actually make it green.
That they were able to actually make it green.
All right, final answer.
That's my best guess. Yes, final answer.
Matt, that is incorrect.
Ah, dang.
So that wasn't green screen. That was a real sky behind them. And because of that, they changed the color from blue to green so that the blade's contrast could be seen against the blue sky of Tatooine during the battle or during the skirmish at Carcoon.
Okay, that's fair.
And so since it would be outside in the daylight instead of in like darker environments like it used to be, and it was against a blue sky, they realized they couldn't give him a blue lightsaber again, so they changed it to green, and that's what helped start building out the lore of lightsabers within the Star Wars universe.
Which is super cool. I just want to point out there are a lot of like real world reasons why in-game lore is created all the time.
Right.
Like it's not just Star Wars. It is literally so much stuff, and it's beautiful. I love that we can mesh real world practicality with in-game or in movie lore, in universe lore.
So with Star Wars, like originally we have blue and red lightsabers. It's very easy to tell Sith, Jedi. There was always supposed to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
But they created the green one just to be able to have that contrast, and then it was just going to be blue and green lightsabers.
Yeah.
Well, then eventually you have Samuel L. Jackson.
Who wouldn't do it unless he had a purple lightsaber?
Well, he's like, I want a purple lightsaber. I want to be able to see myself during this giant battle.
Yeah.
In the Coliseum on Genosha. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I want a purple lightsaber. And George gave it to him.
Which is so
so
cool.
Then now you have 3 lightsaber colors. Well, then in Rebels, I believe it's revealed that the temple guards have yellow lightsabers.
Yeah.
And then you have in
Rebels,
Ahsoka has white lightsabers. So like they just continued to build out the lore of lightsabers and create the colors.
Yeah. I love lightsaber. I love that they did that because like in playing video games like Jedi Survivor right now, you can customize how your lightsaber looks, and it's the most fun I've ever had in my life.
Oh yeah.
You can customize the emitter, you can customize the switch, you can customize the handle, you can customize the blade color. It's just love it.
Fantastic. All right, that was a wrong answer though. Just to remind you and the audience. Question number 2. Which hand did Anakin lose in his first fight with Count Dooku?
You know this. Okay, just picture it in your mind. I think it was his right hand.
Right hand? Final answer?
Doesn't sound right. Yeah, right hand. Final answer. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah. That is correct.
All right.
I looked on Wikipedia for all of these answers.
Mm-hmm.
It took forever to figure out the correct answer for this.
Really?
Yeah. And like it was at the point where I almost watched the movie, like that scene, just to figure it out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Before we move on, I do want to point out, yes, these questions are a little harder than a base knowledge of Star Wars because Matt has a deeper than a base knowledge of Star Wars. And so I will not listen to any slander that I am asking too hard of questions. Matt knows Star Wars. I'm asking harder questions.
No, I want you guys to go into the comments. I want you guys
to
not
go into the comments.
Be my comment warriors and tell Connor how bad of a job he's doing with these questions because he's taking it too hard on me. Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to him. Question 3. Who were the 2 apprentices of Darth Tyrannus?
It's the 2 apprentices.
Who were the two apprentices
Okay.
of Darth Tyrannus?
Ouch. Okay. The two apprentices of Darth Tyrannus are first, you know his name, Qui-Gon Jinn. Second, Asajj Ventress. Hold on. I'm pretty sure Darth Tyrannus, I'm 99.9% positive, is Count Dooku. He had Qui-Gon Jinn. He had Asajj Ventress, but he also trained Darth Maul a bit as an apprentice. No, I'm sorry, not Darth Maul. His brother, Savage Opress. That's I'm gonna go with officially Qui-Gon and Asajj. Yeah. But he also
Final
had
answer?
Yeah, sure. Final answer.
Matt, that is incorrect.
What?
He wasn't Darth Tyrannus when he was Qui-Gon's master. He was just Count Dooku.
It was Asajj and Savage Opress.
Yes, he didn't become Darth
that's annoying.
Tyrannus until he went to the Sith.
That's fair, I guess. I just thought you were trying to trip me up by calling him a different name.
I was, because I was kind of hoping you didn't know Count Dooku was Darth Tyrannus, but then I kind of figured that you'd know at least Asajj Ventress and then get mad that you didn't know the other one.
I knew the other one. I just didn't give it in my final answer because. Okay, it's fine.
That's okay. Look, that's only question 3, right? It can't get much harder than that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
question number 4. What was the name of the band we see performing in Jabba's palace in episode 6?
Oh, what's really funny is I'm pretty sure I've heard this multiple times.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we've talked about this character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Remembering the name of the band, though.
Remember to kind of talk out your process out loud.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So this is the one with the little snout and the long legs and the really like skinny legs and arms, but like just a bulbous body. And then the one guy that's got a really big mouth and he comes and like screams into the camera as he's singing, which is added later.
Mm-hmm.
But trying to remember the taken name of the band, I got nothing. Like I truly don't have an answer.
Do you remember the guy, the first guy you described? Do you remember his name?
No, not even remotely. Who knows this?
I do.
Well, I'm sure you do.
I bet Corey knows this as well.
Again, I think it's in those old memory banks. I can't remember it. So I'm gonna say Flush and the Neon Greens.
Sorry, but that is incorrect. That's a good band name, though. I need you to write that. I'm going to write that down. Flush and the Neon Greens.
Yeah, that is what I said. All right. Next Garlic Boys production will be a band, apparently.
No, I just have a list of good band names.
It's fair.
I don't know why.
I've had a lot of good band names over the year, even though I'm never going to be in a band again.
Oh, me either. Like I have no ability to be in a band, so I just have good band names for like if I'm writing something and I need like a band in it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So that was incorrect, of course.
Yeah.
The band is called the Max Rebo Band because the big blue guy is Max Rebo. But it's also known as the Max Rebo 12, or the original name for the band was Ivar Orbis and his galactic jizz whalers.
Because jizz is a style of music, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Friendly reminder that the music you hear in universe in Star Wars is called jizz.
I love
So,
that.
like, the Bothba band you see in the cantina theme, that music style is jizz.
Jizz, yeah.
It's like jazz, but
It's
space.
creamier.
Nope. Oh my goodness. Oh. Question number 5, Matt.
Yep.
What is the name of Boba Fett's sister? Oh man, I really wish the camera would have flipped over
Been
to
on
you
me.
and watched your face there.
Okay. I don't. Okay. Okay. So Jango Fett is the older, the dad. Jango Fett is the dad, not the creator, sorry, the father-ish, genetically of the clones. Okay.
Yeah.
Boba Fett is his son.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly. Boba Fett is a clone, I believe, but he was created to not age as fast. Okay. So if we're going by clones, now I say this with brief hesitation because in the last episode of a certain show that I shouldn't name because it like literally just came out a couple months ago, I think. No, it's been a while, but regardless, it was revealed that there was another female clone. They haven't fleshed this out because season 3 is coming out next year or the end of this year. I don't remember. I'm gonna go with the you just watched this. You know her name. Okay, if it's a comics thing, I have absolutely no idea. If it's not a comics thing, then it's gonna be the girl clone in the Bad Batch. Remembering her name, even though I literally just watched an episode of this like maybe 3 days ago, is rough. What is her name? What is her name? You know it. Stop being dumb. Sorry, I got like an hour of sleep last night, it feels. Her name.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that I can't think of this, even though I just watched the second season. Binged it. I'm sorry, yeah,
4,
I can't think of it.
3.
I'm gonna say the
2,
little blonde girl
1.
clone from the Bad Batch that I can't name because I can't think of it.
Final answer.
Sure.
Matt, if Boba Fett is clone Alpha and she's the last clone, she would be
Omega, yeah. Because she has an Australian, well, New Zealand-ish accent, but
however, I'm gonna give that to you.
okay, thank you. Because I had it all. It was
Because
right
there's two reasons. Yeah. You gave me more information. Like you gave me as much information as you physically could in that moment about Omega and perfectly described her.
Yeah.
Second thing. I don't want hate for this, but I haven't watched The Bad Batch, so I didn't know that there was another female clone.
Okay.
And Wikipedia said nothing about that.
It's because it hasn't fleshed it out yet, I assume. Season 2 just came out, I'm pretty sure this year. Or maybe the end of last year. It doesn't matter. Season 2 just came out within like a year. And it was like the literal last second of the episode. She's like, I'm your sister. And it's like, oh, what?
Oh, when the other one dies? That episode? When the one...
it's still wrong.
Oh, you don't want to talk about his death?
No, zip it. There are people that probably haven't watched this, including you. Shut up.
Yeah, but I like spoilers.
Yes. Yeah, you're so weird. But
Go away.
Yeah, it is revealed in the end that there's also another clone, and she's older too, which is weird. But yeah, so that's why I was a little confused and thrown off, because it could have been a comics thing, which is technically Legends.
Right.
So that's why I wasn't sure.
Nope, it was Omega.
She's such a good character.
I only watched until she got kidnapped by Fennec Shan, so I don't really have that full 2 seasons of character growth with her.
Oh gosh, dude, you gotta watch the rest of it. It is so good.
It took me 2 years to watch Andor. That could be wrong. Like, I don't even know if it's 2 years old yet, but I didn't watch it until earlier this year. Because everyone was like, it's so good, you gotta watch it. And like, anytime someone says that to me, immediately go, so I'm never watching that.
See,
like, Matt won't shut up about The Greatest Showman. Still have never seen that movie.
I am the same way. I am 100% the same way, except for certain things. Like, I have exceptions, and the exceptions are things that I love dearly, like Star Wars or Marvel.
Oh yeah.
I feel like those are the exceptions and the only exceptions.
I mean, there's things that, like, it's usually like on the fence about something. That's when I'm like when I get pushed, because like I didn't know what Andor was going to be. Now I know it's a great show, and like I was stupid for not watching it. But like at the time, I was like, this doesn't look good. I don't want to watch this. Everyone keeps telling me to watch it. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah. No, yeah, I hear that. I really do.
Alrighty, question number 6. Why did Ahsoka Tano leave the Jedi Order?
Ooh, okay. So she kind of a lot of reasons. But the main reason was she was put on trial. She was put on trial because she was framed by Barris Offee. She was put on trial. Sorry, word associations. She was put on trial because she was framed by Barris Offee, another member of the Jedi Order who I believe she like lost faith in the Jedi Order. But why she framed her friend, I don't remember. It's been a while. But she was framed, put on trial. No one believed her, so she had to kind of like prove her own innocence. Like, she escaped and proved her own innocence and all that stuff. And then eventually they're like, do you want to come back? Like, maybe. And then she was like, nah, I'm gonna. I've also kind of lost faith in the Jedi Order, but I'm not like against you. I'm not turning against you. I just don't think that I can be part of this anymore. Because nobody believed me. You guys are literally Jedi who can sense motivations and search the Force and understand that Ahsoka, the greatest Jedi in the history of Jedi, I'm exaggerating a bit, but Ahsoka's amazing, and you guys took her for granted, did not do this. Sorry. Regardless. Yeah, she was framed. And so she left because nobody believed her. Is that not enough? I gotta say what's on my mind. Something about this does seem right.
I need a little bit more.
What am I not saying?
This might feel pedantic, but
It does feel. I don't even know the full answer, but I'm pretty sure I gave all that I could. I if that's not enough, I can't I can't flesh it out more. I don't know what I'm missing.
okay. Maybe I'm being. Can you get away, dude? I'm doing things.
Oh, cats! I can't
hate
wait to get
cats.
one.
I can't wait to get out of here. You know they're responsible for like 300 species of birds from going extinct.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Stinking
And
cats.
you want to huddle up and love them.
Humans are responsible for like 90% of the animals going extinct on the planet, and you want to cuddle up with one of them?
Matt, I'm
Do
single.
a podcast with one of them?
I don't know about you, but I'm totally in favor of corporal punishment for that reason. Listen, I don't know if you've looked at PETA's website recently, but they have some good points that they're making, and you need to really look into it. Do your own research.
PETA?
So anyways, the answer. So this is the answer I was looking for.
Yeah.
That she was framed for the bombing of the Jedi Temple hangar and other homicides.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted me to go more into the crime that she was framed
Yeah,
for.
so that's why I was saying, like, you did say she was framed. You gave me who framed her and like went through the whole story arc. Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Thank you. I feel like saying she was framed pretty much encompasses all that.
Yeah, but you forgot to mention that this Cartoon Network show just added terrorism.
There's a lot
and
of
like,
well,
show. First of all,
and war crimes.
They do war crimes often. But I don't know if they're technically war crimes because they don't have a Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
But this is just full on terrorism, and they just call it that.
Yeah.
And because it was the Jedi that did it, that's religious extremism, which is also really bad apparently in this universe. I guess in ours as well. Any form of religious extremism is bad. Don't think of it. It's not just that one religion. You're racist. There's others that can be extremists as well. And guess what? It's probably more of those ones than the other one you're thinking. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
No, not my religion. Yes, your religion.
Historically and statistically, yes.
Historically, we fought a civil war over your religion.
Yeah.
Racist. Question number 7. Everyone knows that C-3PO is a mostly gold robot going on from episode 2, except for which body parts?
Okay. You're going to want right and left, I assume. I believe it's his right leg, which is silver. I don't know if it's silver. And his left arm, which is red in a different movie. That's my best guess. That I don't know if it's right. I don't know if right or left is wrong. I'm gonna kick myself in the tuchus if it is, but you know what? He had a red arm at one point. You might not have recognized me with my red arm. And he had the bottom half. I don't even think it was his full leg. It was literally just the knee down on his right leg. Yeah, I'm going with that. Final answer.
Final answer?
Yep.
Matt, that is correct.
Booyah. All right.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't have specific right or left on this one.
Oh, good.
Mainly because I couldn't find a consistent answer for the right leg.
Okay.
I looked at a bunch of different pictures, and some of them probably were mirrored images.
Yeah.
But there was like a lot of the original trilogy, things like that. And I kept seeing both right and left being silver.
So
Like-
you'd have to watch the movie to like actually
Right.
figure it out, and that's too much work.
And the problem with that is a lot of people don't know he had a silver leg because the gold of the other leg reflected on it, as well as the sand. And when they were in the white buildings, it also just doesn't look very gold or very silver. And so there are a lot of people that there's probably someone listening right now that is just finding out right now that from the knee down on one of C3PO's legs, it's actually silver.
Yeah,
Um,
wild.
I do want to just talk real quick about how he got the red arm. Do you know this story?
I honestly don't know if I do.
So he and another protocol droid that was red were on a spy mission for General Organa. Well, they were starting getting chased by First Order members, and C3PO lost his arm somehow. Well, the other droid also got very badly damaged. They were hunkering down, like trying to like complete their spy mission, like full on like Bond level mission type of thing. And the other droid was like, "You need to be complete to carry on. I'm dying. Take my arm."
It's so sad and heartwarming. So did did that happen in like a novel or something? Like where did that happen?
It was in one of the canon comics.
Canon comics. Okay. Yeah, I've never actually read into that.
Yeah. There's a full Wikipedia article on it.
That
Like if
is
you go to the C3PO page, it says red arm under appearance, and you can click on it, and there's an article.
that's so beautiful. I've actually never read any of the Star Wars comics, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself.
The Star Wars comics are where we find a lot about all the Inquisitors and like who they are and everything, and it really expands that lore.
Yeah. Plus the video games. There's a lot of Inquisitors.
That too. Alrighty. Question number 8. How long did it take to build the first Death Star?
Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. A while. Does that count? Does that count as an answer? I don't. Who knows this? Okay.
Again, this is something I knew beforehand. I don't know why we have to keep talking about, like, when you ask who knows this, there is a lot of the times where this is just a dumb piece of information that I've known before.
Okay. I'm gonna give you little word vomit here.
Okay.
Okay, so Rogue One, you see in the very beginning of the movie, Jyn Erso's dad, Galen Erso, it was like the brain essentially behind the Death Star. He helped create the Death Star, had a pretty much huge hand in creating the Death Star. In fact, he actually put in a little something for them to find, which Jyn Erso does when she was some age. She was kind of a young adult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my best guess. So if that is the case, and they were creating it or had just created, because they took Galen back to like finish it, I think. Goodness, it's been a while since I watched that one. One of the best Star Wars movies out there, and it's been a while.
For sure. It's a great movie.
Let's go. Ooh, how do you even? I don't know how you know this. It's probably in there somewhere. It said, "Oh, it took 10 years to build this." 10 is like the number that's going in my head a lot, which is kind of why I'm thinking it's 10. But I think it's more than that. It feels like more than that. I'm gonna go 10 years.
Final answer?
Sure, final answer. Ooh, click.
That is incorrect.
Yeah, I kind of felt like it.
At the end of episode 3, we see Palpatine and Darth Vader standing on the bridge of a ship, watching the beginning pieces of the Death Star be put together.
Right.
If you remember, Luke and Leia had just been born a few scenes before this. We then know through Rogue One and A New Hope that the Death Star had just been complete, and the destruction of Alderaan was the first time the weapon had been used.
Right.
To destroy a planet. Of course, it was used on Jedha and Scarif, and to test it. Luke was 19 in A New Hope. And the official Wikipedia answer was almost 20 years. However, we do know that 19 years passed between Return of the Jedi or Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. And so we have to agree. We have to assume that it's at least 19 years.
I almost said 20. Like I was this close. Sorry, this close. I said this close without actually putting a little reference. I was very close to saying 20. I did not. So that's my bad. You know, I should have.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Alrighty. Sorry, I just read one of the other questions and it's going to be so much fun.
Oh boy.
You ready for this?
Sure.
Question number 9. What did Anakin bring to his new empire?
I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire. Your
new empire. If you're not with me, then you're against
my enemy.
Me. Only a Sith feels an absolute.
I will do what I must.
You will try.
I think
that's correct.
Kill you. Yes, it was don't make me kill you. Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to
democracy.
If you're not with me, then you're my
enemy.
Yeah, we had that. We missed a little bit, but it's okay. Solid.
Still, best line reading in that entire movie.
It's so good. It's so good. I actually think that was Hayden Christensen's best acting in the whole series. I think he did well at playing this like really awkward kid, but I don't know if that was exactly the part that I wanted him to play in my head.
The angry young adult that is Anakin is much better than moody teenager in episode 2. I think episode 2 is just the problem, honestly.
Yeah.
Because, well, I guess Phantom Menace has issues, but like episode 2, honestly, gonna say it, episode 2 I think is the worst Star Wars movie.
The worst, like, at all, ever.
I think it's better than Solo and The Last Jedi.
Okay, that's fair.
I know that's a controversial statement, but
there's a lot going on. Ewan McGregor having this weird, awkward hair, still looking sexy as heck. Hayden Christensen being
moody,
weirdly pubescent and moody. Yeah, there was a lot of like instantaneous sexual energy between him and Padme, even though the last time she saw him, he was like a 9-year-old boy.
She was 14 and he was 9.
Yeah, weird stuff.
The one part of that movie that I love, and I don't know if you've seen this, is like someone broke down how convoluted the plot to kill Padme in that movie got.
Oh yeah,
where Palpatine sent Dooku hired Jango Fett. Jango Fett hired the Changeling. The Changeling sent a robot. The robot sent the worms to kill her. So a dude hired a dude who hired a shapeshifter. A dude hired a dude who hired a dude who hired a shapeshifter, who hired a robot who hired a bug to kill one person.
Yeah, no, it's wild stuff. Like nobody could just do it. If Dooku really wanted it, like I understand why Dooku wanted Jango Fett to do it, because he was like the leader of the Separatists, and still not outed as a Sith Lord,
Right.
So like I understand why he got a bounty hunter to do it. But then like Jango Fett is a extremely capable bounty hunter. Like an insanely capable bounty hunter.
I think it's to kind of take the heat off of himself.
Yeah.
Because at that point they didn't know about the clone army.
Right. They didn't want anybody to suspect. So then why did Count Dooku, who knew about the clone army and knew about Jango Fett, why did he ask Jango Fett instead of just hiring the changeling himself?
See, this is my point of why this movie is bad.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Anyways. All right. Question number.
I had
Go ahead.
Just one thing before we continue. I had nightmares about the changeling when she died. When she
Really?
died. Yeah, it literally reminded me of like Voldemort's head coming out of Quirrell's head, like the back of his head. It's just like it. Or no. You know what it kind of reminded me of? It reminded me of when they're in the restricted section in Harry Potter. I know there's another Harry Potter thing, where they open the book and like the heads are coming out screaming and everything like that. Yeah, that's kind of what her death reminded me of, where it was like she like shriveled up and like it was weird, man.
Yeah, I didn't like what she looked like either. Like, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 10.
Number 10.
What was Snoke?
What was Snoke indeed? In all technicality, which is a weird technicality because goodness, that movie. He was a clone of Palpatine. It's literally since the clone army was taken down, the Empire was like researching cloning experiments. And in the really weird storytelling that the last Jedi, right? The final movie, whatever. Yeah. The
Rise of Skywalker.
That's the one. Rise of Skywalker explained that they were cloning so many like force sensitive beings and trying to figure out like how to pass on the force sensitivity into the clone. And essentially that's what Snoke was. Snoke was a Palpatine clone. Yeah, that's my final answer. I'm confusing myself, honestly.
Final answers.
Final answer.
That is correct.
All
that
right.
is what I'm going to take. I'm going to take, and this is why. I'm reading directly from Wikipedia right now. You ready?
Yeah.
Snoke was a force-sensitive humanoid genetic strand cast male who ruled the First Order as a supreme leader during the New Republic era. Possibly unaware of his true nature, Snoke was an artificial genetic construct created on a planet Exegol by the Dark Lord of the Sith and the Galactic Emperor Darth Sidious and his Sith external cult during the reign of the Galactic Empire. After Sidious's resurrection, Snoke's body held no use in the Sith Lord's goal for restoration, so was instead utilized by Sidious for his unnatural force sensitivity as a proxy he could manipulate for his contingency. Though Snoke possessed an independent mind, he was obviously influenced by his creator from afar.
It's wild. It's wild. My mom was talking to me the other day. She's like, I never really liked Star Wars, and I think it's just because like it's so confusing. I'm like, have you watched any of the movies? She's like, well, not really. I'm like, you think it's confusing? She's like, I don't even know what order to go in. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like,
right.
But honestly, I don't know. She would have so many questions if I tried to show her the newest trilogy. She would be so confused. And honestly, I'm still confused.
I think if you're ever going to meet someone that's like, oh, I've never watched Star Wars, like as an adult, like not with your kids or anything. Just be like, okay, we're gonna watch the last one first, and then watch them all again in order. And I need you to pay attention.
Yeah, like it's confusing. It is, and I love Star Wars so much. And like honest, so I've been reading, listening, whatever you want to call it, to Thrawn books, the canon Thrawn books. There's non-canon Thrawn books, Legend Thrawn books, and then there's a set of 6 canon Thrawn books. They are so good. But aside from that, recently I've been reading that. I've been playing Jedi Survivor. I've been watching all of the TV shows, the Star Wars TV shows that I've missed, including The Bad Batch and what was the other one that I was behind on? Oh, I mean, Mia and I have restarted watching Rebels because, again, we're leading up into the
Ahsoka.
Thrawn era and the Ahsoka series. So,
which that comes out soon.
It does, like August, like next
month.
I'm so pumped. If you guys don't know, Ahsoka is like at least top 5 of my favorite Star Wars characters. Thrawn also being on that top 5 list. But I've been like so into Star Wars lately, but I've also figured out how impossible and huge it seems to people. The good thing about Star Wars is like you can watch the movies and have a really decent understanding of Star Wars.
I think the reason why it's impossibly huge for some people now is like when at least for me, when I started Star Wars, there were 6 movies.
Yeah.
Like 6 main things. Like there was the holiday special and like some other side things, but like it's really like episodes 1 through 6, and that's it.
Yeah.
Then we got Clone Wars, and then we got Rebels, and then we got Resistance.
Yeah.
And then we got Rogue One, and then Solo, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, The Mandalorian, the sequel series. And it just grew to being
massive.
This massive media franchise of like 12 movies, technically, with the Clone Wars movie. Probably as many shows, and like this deep, convoluted lore, not to mention what's in Legends and the comics and everything, because like there's just so much media to get into that like there's so much Star Wars lore. I think it can rival like Marvel, DC, other things like that. And like with probably just Batman, like I think there might be a 1-to-1 comparison with lore of just one character to this entire franchise, and that's wild.
Yeah, and I mean, just like look at the last like 10 years, how much stuff has come out in the last 10 years. And as an avid Star Wars fan, as someone who watches literally everything as it comes out, I'm lapping it up. I love it. I love it so much, and I'm so happy. I love video games, so I play the video games. I love books. I love movies. I love TV shows. I love it all. But for someone who, like my mom, for example, who's never really watched any of the Star Wars movies, it seems insanely overwhelming. But for you listeners out there, you can watch the first 6 movies, have a pretty decent understanding of the Star Wars world, and enjoy it. The first 6 movies, I know we just talked about episode 2 being terrible. First 6 movies are good. The last 7, 8, and 9, I enjoyed them. There are critiques. There are valid critiques. I really enjoyed them. I loved all 3 of the movies. There are things I would change, yes. There are valid critiques, yes, but I loved them still. And I love Han Solo, and I love Rogue One. Like I'm not super picky. But like watch the first 6 movies, maybe sprinkle in a little Rogue One in there.
Right.
You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy Star Wars. I promise you.
I think if you just like, you don't try and do it all at once.
Yeah. Like
spread it out. Like there's a lot there. And like take your time.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, would you like to do your bonus question?
I have a bonus question? Sure.
I mean, full honestly, you won the quiz.
Oh, good. I forgot that we were doing the quiz.
Yeah, so you won the quiz, but I have a bonus question. Would you still like to do it?
I would, yes.
Awesome. For a bonus point, give me the canon family tree for the Skywalkers.
Oh, no. This is terrible. Okay. Canon family tree. Okay.
Yes.
Anakin. I'm gonna go with Anakin, but there's above and below. So Anakin has a mother. Okay. Shmi is her name. Shmi? No. Yeah, Shmi.
It's Shmi because
Shmi is the guy from Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Captain Hook's first mate. So Shmi is Anakin's mother. I don't know anything before her, and I don't think in canon there is anything before her. We don't know Anakin's father because there's, Palpatine did a little Force magic. We don't know. We actually don't have. I don't know if we have a confirmed answer. Regardless, Shmi is Anakin's mom. Anakin is first Skywalker male, and as far as I'm aware, in canon, the only Skywalker male. In that generation. Then he marries.
Like, hey, buddy, I got something to tell you.
he married. I'm saying he didn't have any siblings in canon. Yeah. He marries Padme. Secret little marriage. He marries Padme, so she is technically Padme Skywalker, although I don't know if she actually takes his name at all, especially not before she dies, because again, it was a secret marriage. So Padme has children with Anakin, Luke and Leia, both Skywalkers. However, Leia doesn't take the name because she gets adopted by Bail Organa. Okay, she's still technically a Skywalker. So Luke and Leia. Leia marries Han, so technically he's also in the family, and they have Kylo Ren. Okay, Kylo Ren is a direct descendant of Vader, Anakin Skywalker. So Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren dies. He doesn't have any kids. Luke doesn't have any kids either. But Rey is also an adoptive-ish Skywalker. So I'm going to include her in there, even though technically they didn't sign any papers, but they adopted her. Yeah, she's a Skywalker. Screw all you people. She's a Skywalker now. That's
my name is Rey. Rey Star Wars. That is not a joke I came up with. That is a joke from an episode of Try Not to Laugh, and then Damien made, and then he says he got it from a tweet. Just saying that.
Yeah, he didn't come up with that, is what he's saying.
Right.
Yeah, that's my family tree for you.
So there are some slight holes, but I'm gonna help you fill those in. Okay. So you have Shmi, right? Mm-hmm. She is Force magicked by Palpatine to have Anakin.
She's Mary, the mother Mary, yeah, and
basically
Palpatine is God.
Sure. I don't know about that.
Was that actually confirmed? Her being force babied? I put the baby into you.
I just wished real hard, and then you got pregnant.
Midichlorians. Sprinkle some midichlorians.
Yeah, give you some midichlorians. She is then she's then bought and then is actually set free and then marries Lars, whose son is Owen.
Yeah.
Owen marries Aunt Beru, and they adopt Luke.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
One thing that I thought of while you were going through this is so they changed Leia's last name, right?
Yeah.
She's Leia Organa now.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Matt, what's Luke's canon last name?
Skywalker.
Right.
And if Vader
if you're trying to hide a kid,
maybe you should change his last name. I don't know, not give him to the family that he was taken from. or that
Like-
that Anakin was taken from.
Like, I don't know if Skywalker is a common last name. I don't think it is.
It is so not. It's very much not a common last name. I'm pretty sure they're the only ones in the galaxy, except for in canon, the Chiss Ascendancy, Thrawn's people. They use force sensitive Chiss to navigate. They do not have the computers like the Empire has to navigate. So they use navigators, and guess what they're called in basic? Skywalkers. They're called Skywalkers. So technically there are other Skywalkers out there, but not by name. And technically.
Well, that was the Clever Boy quiz. You
Woohoo!
won.
Is that my
Congratulations.
first win of the new cycle?
Well, do you want to do a new cycle? Because I do have a title for you for 11.
No, you don't. We didn't even have to go through the whole name generation episode this time. Congratulations. Good job, buddy.
Because we did this one during the last one.
Oh, did we?
Prepare for this.
Nice.
You are now the title of Clevin Levin.
Levin, as in Kevin Levin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
I don't know how to tell you this, except we spent the entire episode talking about Star Wars.
I know.
And we don't have time to continue on past the quiz.
Which is so funny. If you listeners haven't noticed, you could get us talking so easily. Just bring up like Star Wars, Marvel, The Flash, Green Lantern. I don't know,
like comic, like nerd stuff. Honestly.
Yeah, nerd stuff. It's like so easy to get us distracted.
But the fun part about that is I can just name this a Very Clever Boy episode part 2.
Yeah, you could.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, I like that.
So I guess thank you guys so much for listening to the Garlic Boys podcast.
We're rebranding now as a Star Wars podcast. So if you don't like Star Wars, I'm sorry. This is podcasting. So now this is podcasting.
So if you don't watch Star Wars, that's a reference to episode 1. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Garlic Boys. If you want more from us, you can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and I guess it's called X now. I don't know. We might not be using the Elon app anymore.
Twitter,
honestly,
it doesn't know what it's doing anymore.
Twitter's technically dead. I think it's called X at this point.
Yeah, I think so. I think he did it just because he's mad that Mark Zuckerberg was doing the same thing on Instagram.
Well, he's using Threads, which let us know if you want us to get into Threads. No one follows us on Twitter, so but do follow us on TikTok and Instagram to get updates for when we post and maybe some fun behind the scenes of us hanging out in real life. You never know when we can see each other. If you want more from us with exclusive content that you can buy and help support us, you can go to patreon.com/thegarlicboys. The Patreon is very great because it starts at $3 a month.
Yeah, it's great.
$3. That's all you got to give us.
That's like a single cup of coffee a week or a month.
Right.
Like just don't get a single cup of coffee a month.
That's less than a cup of coffee if you get the kind of coffee I get.
If you get a small, not a freaking extra large.
Shut up. But you're the the Patreon is great because it has exclusives on there as well as early access to some things, and it can keep you updated from maybe some new things that are coming from us.
Oh yeah,
in the future. Speaking of other content from us, we have a second podcast. We don't really talk about it a lot, but it's called TGB One Shots.
It's good.
It's really great. It's us as well as former guest Firelord Shanio, our friends Vaptor Like Raptor and Mug, and we do multi-episode arcs with different characters changing. We are currently in a Spelljammer arc, I believe, as they're going out live. We record these well ahead of time of when you're hearing them.
Yeah.
And so
really ahead of time.
It's a lot of fun. If you like role playing or you just want to hear us role play, do check that out. It's TGB One Shots, wherever you get your podcasts.
If you want to hear me talk like Patrick Warburton, you'll have to listen. You'll have to at least get like 10 episodes ish in, I think, to listen to hear that.
Episode 12, you see the best acting from me. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's episode 12. Maybe it's 11. I don't know. It's a great episode though. Link. You could also watch us on YouTube for full video versions of the podcast. This is not a concise ending at all. YouTube.com/@thegarlicboys. And you can see video versions of it. Matt, supplementary mom shout out.
I think my favorite mom Shmi Skywalker. Supplementary mom shout out Shmi.
You know, my supplementary mom shout out was going to be Padme. So
all right, we covered the bases.
There we go. Well, thank you so much for listening. Oh no, sorry, Matt. Final thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, actually, kind of on the boat of the one shots. I have plenty of characters, but not everybody does. I have literally hundreds of backup characters. But if you have any character ideas, send them our way. I'd love to hear your character ideas so I can maybe put them in the show, possibly. I have a lot of characters. I may not get to all of them.
Well, there you have it, guys. Check out TGB One Shots wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, as always, to stay garlicky.
All right, guys. Connor and I are going to make out now.